Welcome.
All right.
Okay.
I'm ready. Oh, sorry. I was just trying to say I'm ready when you are, and then you were actually started, so I guess you're ready now.
Welcome to the RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I am Elias Sailor Eli Warren.
I am Sam Allman.
And I'm Maddie Webben.
And today we'll be playing part 4 of Final Fantasy X, stopping when we get to the airship. As a reminder, this game is designed to be a dedicated voting period for a Best of the Rest game, which is basically a loser's bracket for the games we didn't get to play last year. If you're interested in hearing us talk about Dragon Quest V, Okage Shadow King, Shining Force, or Magic Knight Rayearth. Not Magic Knight Rayearth. I have plans for it. Don't vote for it.
Vote for Dragon Quest.
For the
Vote for Dragon Quest, guys.
Yeah, vote for Dragon Quest.
I just realized you said this is technically a giant losers bracket, but it's also it also has its own losers bracket. So those are like the extreme like fucking losers.
the not so best of the rest.
Whoever loses the next round, which will be the first round in the losers bracket, we should just like put a dunce cap on the box and just make that our profile picture.
Or Dragon Quest.
But yeah, if you want to vote in that, check out our Patreon for the poll. And if you want to just throw us $1 and then cancel your subscription so you can vote and help Dragon Quest out, you are more than welcome to do that. So before we get to the game itself, how was everyone's week?
My week was pretty good. My daughter is ridiculous. So the night before last, she slept weird on her pillow and got a crick in her neck when she woke up. And it's the first time she's had it. So, of course, she has no idea what's going on, and she just knows that her head hurts. And so...
Right, my body's not working.
Yeah, so Blizzard... right before I left, were trying out travel pillows, but the company that was making them kind of messed up on all of them. So instead of selling them online, they just gave like 3 to every person who wanted one that worked there. And so it's this like big, kind of uncomfortable, doesn't work that well travel pillow. So Scarlett was wearing that like a neck brace all day and was like just laying on her side watching Star Wars most of the day. And so cricks in your neck suck, but they also go away after about like 4 hours of being awake. So me and Summer knew that Scarlett was faking it the whole rest of the day. And
oh my god!
Like she'd be laying on the bed watching something. I'd be in there with her, and then I'd like get up to go do something, and she would be bored and want to come see what Dad's doing. So she would like wear it like a neck brace and like hold it to the side like she has a cell phone on her ear type thing, and it just waddles in there to lay down. Then like when you're laying down like on her belly, it's the neck brace isn't doing anything. Like it's not supporting her head whatsoever. It's just a necklace. And so she's just sitting there like drawing on the floor with me, and I'm like, I know that your neck is fine. Like look at you right now. And it was a mess all day. And so this morning she gets up and everything is fine, and then she finds the neck pillow where we had hidden it, and then she's suddenly like, my neck hurt bad. And I'm just like, you little kid. And it's
Kid rules.
She's great. I love her so much. But yeah, that's what I was doing this weekend. What about you guys?
I'm not going to talk too much about my week. I had a very rough week. Mental illness sucks.
Yeah.
Especially when you have a combination of them. You'd think that anxiety and depression would somehow counteract each other.
No.
But no, they compound. And it's awful.
How that happens.
And so I'm anxious about dental issues that I have, and I've been just feeling lonely and depressed in general, and that's been my week.
You know, there's this great clown in town named Pagliacci. You should check him out. Cheer you right up.
Great, thanks.
But doctor, I am Pagliacci.
That's like, I saw a really good riff on that yesterday on Twitter. It was really good. My week's been interesting. I Officially, I'm coming out at work on Friday.
Yay.
By which I mean my boss, who already knows all this stuff, is talking to some of the people in her like boss meetings today about it, and then on Friday she'll be calling and emailing my various clients. I'm a tutor, so they're tutoring. She's going to be calling my kids' parents and letting them know. And then by Sunday will be my first day where I'm out because I don't work on Saturday. That's funny because it accidentally is Trans Day of Remembrance. Or sorry, not of remembrance, of visibility. Remembrance is a different day. Anyway, that wasn't on purpose. It's very cheesy that I'm doing that. But anyway, that's fun. But I'm a little stressed out about it for obvious reasons. But I'm actually more stressed out that I goofed up at an unrelated thing at work. I let some things. I just haven't been doing a great job at work, honestly. And I know that's the case, but I'm having a hard time fixing it.
Yeah.
And that's very stressful, obviously. So, and that's unrelated to the coming out thing. So I'm like, oh, my job. Other than that, everything's great. I've been staying up too late playing the new From game because I'm stupid, and it's real good.
It's dummy good.
It's dummy good. Well, that's the thing, is in the game your thighs are dummy thick, and the half of my ass cheek definitely keeps alerting the fucking ninjas, and they keep killing me. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, let's take a look at this damn game.
Yeah.
So when we last left our heroes, they were in the middle of a forest and had just had they were going to Makalania Temple because our girl Yuna said that she's going to marry our boy Seymour.
Mm-hmm.
And he probably, almost definitely, murdered his dad.
Yeah.
We'll find out whether or not he actually did murder his dad. He did. In like 10 minutes. Or 5 minutes, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway.
In the Discord, when I started playing, like I booted it up like for 5 minutes. I'm like, we sure did stop at a climax this week.
Yeah.
Like, we find out immediately what's going on there.
Yeah.
It's very obvious why I originally wanted us to stop at the desert. That was a dumb choice. It was too much, but like, yeah, you'll see. It's very clear why, because of how dramatic it all is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you just got out of the forest. You go to another one of those little stores where you can stay at an inn and stuff. And nothing really happens there. And then you start.
Like, it was weird because like I walked into it to say save or whatever, and like everybody comes out of Titus and sets up shop, like hanging around, and I'm like, oh, this is a hangout part. Like, what are we going to learn about everybody? And basically, everyone's just like, when you're ready to leave, let us know. I'm like, why aren't you just hanging out in Titus's pocket like you're supposed to as a party?
Every time they get to an inn, they have to chill for a little bit. Anyway, so you leave. Also the Chocobo Knight guy, the little one, not the girl who's mean to him, but like the sweet little guy. He's being all sweet, and but he's also like, she left me behind. What the heck? I'm no good at being a knight. And basically, you can tell him, what if you tried being a Chocobo breeder instead of a knight? And he's like, that's a great idea. Maybe I'll do that. Excuse me. So
is there Chocobo breeding in this game?
No. Not for the player to do.
Good.
Yeah, I didn't
Although
want
there is a
more
big
things.
Chocobo racing minigame. You'll see that in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're now at the ice level because it's a video game, and we run into Trommel again. Trommel's all like, "We've been expecting you." Seymour says if she marries Seymour, she still wants to keep pilgrimaging. Would that be allowed? Trommel says, "Yeah, sure." One important thing here is that Yuna still seems very tentative. You know, even though she said I made my decision, she's still just like. So they turn to leave. Trommel and Yuna,
especially because like right here, like because we're like, all right, so since we're on our pilgrimage, let's go in and do the temple. And Trommel's like, yeah, no, Seymour is going to take her through, and she's just like,
Okay.
What about my guardians? And Seymour then turns to the players like, don't worry, I'll reset all of the traps when I go through, so you still have to do them on your way out of the temple.
Yeah. Jerk.
Yeah. Anyway, so then she turns around to look at the party as she's leaving, like, and Arn's like, it's cool, we're behind you, we're good, you know? He's basically saying, like, yeah, go off on your own, but, like, don't worry, you're not gonna actually be, you know, we're still your guardians, we'll fuck shit up if we have to. So Yuna and Tron will go off, and then all of a sudden, some Al Bhed show up again, those damn Al Bhed.
Those sandblasted grease monkeys.
Oh, yeah. God, so racist.
They encircle
Sorry, it was
Yuna.
a heated gaming moment.
Oh my god. Yeah, Waka's about to have some more heated gaming moments. So they circle their wagons, which are cool snowmobiles.
Yeah.
And then you have a boss fight against, y'all don't know this, but it's the Shagohod from Metal Gear Solid 3. Straight up is.
Cool.
If y'all feel like Googling that, you don't have to do that. This boss fight's interesting, but not that hard. Your magic and aeons are sealed by, like, a thingy, but if you destroy the thingy, then Lulu can do 10 zillion damage to the enemy. And Yuna as well, because at this point, Yuna was doing more damage with her aura spells than Lulu was, because I'm stupid. I like the mechanical design in this game. That's all I have. After the battle's over, Riku yells at the leader of the Al Bhed. I, who have been a goody good girl collecting all my Al Bhed primers, understood a good bit of it, actually. She basically is like,
who taught myself in 5th grade how to speak Al Bhed so that I could impress a girl, understood it perfectly.
She's like, stop, I'm a guardian now. I'll protect Yuna. Like, you know, like, this is, it comes off as like this is my place, but also she's like, I'll protect Yuna. And I'm like, wait, are they protecting Yuna? It seems like they're trying to kill Yuna with
Right?
a Shagohod from Metal Gear Solid 3. But whatever. So anyway, they run off. Waka is like, why do you speak Al Bhed? And Riku's like, I am Al Bhed. That guy was my brother. Waka
Also,
gets super.
Look at people in their eyes when they're talking to you, Waka. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So Waka gets super racist. He's all like, I can't believe I've been traveling with an Al Bhed. And he's like, you know, Sin was born because of Machina. And then they have a little religious discussion where Riku's like, do you have proof that Sin is because of Machina? You can't just believe in what Yevon says. Think for yourself. But then Waka's like, okay, well, if that's not where Sin comes from, where does he come from? And Riku's like, I don't know. And then
Checkmate, atheists.
Exactly. She's like, you can't just do whatever Yevon wants without thinking. No one will ever change that way. Waka says the only way to eventually get rid of Sin is to keep atoning for sins and keep having faith in Yevon. Riku says, no, maybe there's some other way to stop Sin. We need to find out. And then basically they just fight for a while, and then Arn is like, let's use these snowmobiles, and Waka's like, are you Al Bhed too? No, Waka, he's dead. He's got a different twist.
He's all dead.
Because you're stupid.
He's all dead.
He's all dead. Tidus defuses again. He kind of yells at Waka, and he's like, dude, you liked Riku just fine before now. She's the same person. Just calm the fuck down. And Waka's kind of like, ugh. But he does calm down.
Yeah, geez, it's not like you found out she was trans.
Yeah, seriously. So they ride on their automobiles, and Goku asks Lulu if she has a crush on Riku. That's not literally true. He says something like, "What do you?" But it is weird though. He's like, "So Lulu, what do you think of Riku?" Like he says it the way you ask if you're trying to set some people up.
Do you like her?
Yeah, and Lulu's like, I mean, she's fun to be around. And Goku's like, anything more than that? And I'm like, what are you doing, man?
He's trying to see if she's racist too, because she is a follower of Yevon.
Yeah, no, of course. And then Goku says that, quote, she's just another Al Bhed to Waka. Then he says, not actually in quotes, he's dumb. I bet it's because of Yevon. Lulu reminds him of the whole Chapu thing. And Goku realizes, oh, fuck, once again, this is my dad's fault. Yep. You run across the ice bridge to get to the temple, and this is... Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
My phone went away for a second. I've been getting a zillion spam calls lately. I don't know why. Anyway, you run across the ice bridge, and there's some Sonic Adventure-ass looking reflection effects. It's real good. I looked at a Let's Play to see if the original game had those, and it does. It looks great. They didn't add it for the remake. Anyway, you arrive at Locklania Temple, finally. Shalinda's there, because everyone's on this road trip together. And she's like, yeah, Yuna's already in the Cloister of Trials with Seymour. But suddenly, the lady's like, oh, good heavens, or something like that. And she falls from out of a door. She was snooping as usual, and she found and watched the sphere that Yuna had. Everyone decides that privacy is for chumps and goes and watches the sphere.
One second. So this game is cool. This ride on the snowmobile is your date at the Golden Saucer. Because I was looking it up to see what Lulu said, and in this Let's Play, Riku is on the back of your snowmobile.
Oh yeah, Riku was on my snowmobile as well.
You know, Sam, I actually had that thought at the time, and then didn't think about it
because
anymore.
Lulu was like, on mine, so I didn't even think of it, because I was just like, oh yeah, she said something weird. But
yeah. Well, I didn't think to myself, what if it's variable? I just thought, why is he with... I did think, why is he with Lulu? That's an interesting choice, you know, for the person that he just decides to ride with. You'd think he'd be riding with, I don't know.
I didn't even realize that he could ride with someone else. Yeah. Okay. Because I had Riku.
Yeah, and we had Lulu. That's crazy.
What happened in the Riku conversation? Do you know what they talk about?
She talks about how she's related to Uni. She calls her Uni. She's related to Yuna. She talks about how her father is Yuna's uncle. She says something about... She actually says something about the sacrifice that the summoners make. And Titus is like, a sacrifice? What sacrifice? And she's like, oh, nothing.
Interesting. Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah. So it brings the reveal of we protect summoners. It brings that early, but it doesn't bring the sacrificing thing. So because in the Let's Play that I'm looking at, he's like, Titus is like, what do you mean sacrifice? And she goes, the pilgrimage takes a lot out of you. And goes, he goes, you shouldn't say that that's sacrificing yourself. And Riku's just like, okay,
yeah, all right, well.
She's like, who's gonna tell him?
Right.
But yeah, that's so cool. Also in this what's it called? Snowmobile part. You snowmobile through a dungeon area instead of having to go through it.
Yeah.
But because I'm me, as soon as I get to the temple, I backtrack and run all the way through the dungeon area instead of snowmobiling through it to make sure I didn't miss anything. Which is stupid because you run through this again in half an hour.
Yeah.
So. I didn't know that. So I found the chest and I was like, cool, a chest. I'm glad I went out of my way to do this. And then half hour later, I was like, fuck. I could have just done it later.
Yep.
Once again, the game is very clearly trying to tell me to play a certain way. They're like, look, we just teleported you to the temple. Don't you want to go in? And I'm like, no, I'm going to play my way. And then I'm like, I should have just done what the game was telling me to do.
Right.
Damn it. The game was trying so hard to get me to play it the right way, but it didn't work. Anyway, honestly, I wouldn't even mind...
Unisphere is where we left off.
I wouldn't even mind an invisible wall, frankly. You know, like, what if Goku was like, I can't go that way, I gotta go to the temple. People make fun of that, but it would have made sense from a plot standpoint.
Yeah.
Right?
As long as the pop-up writing is good, I don't mind things like that.
Yeah. Again, it makes plot sense. Anyway.
Yeah.
So they go and look at Jiskel's sphere. And, they confirm what we all thought. Lord Jiskel basically is like, yo, my son's evil AF, and he's gonna kill me. But also it's my fault for being a bad dad. I raised him wrong. This is the moral of the Star Wars prequel trilogy. I could not protect him and his mother from the world and its cruelty. I don't really get that. I'm thinking maybe there was some racism involved. Maybe we'll learn about that later and see more tragic backstory. And then he says, please stop him. But I wrote in my notes, please top him on accident, which is...
Hot.
He does need that. He's definitely a
He's a power bottom.
He definitely needs to get topped. No, he's like a sissy bottom. You know that.
Have you seen Anima? I mean...
That Okay, that's true. He's
What
got
if-
multiple personas.
What if Anima's just the top?
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that, Sam.
Thanks, I hate it.
I don't like that at all. So anyway,
With the whole
one thing I like
bottom torso that Anima has, it's a good mental image that you got going on there.
Oh yeah, good is a word I'd use for that.
So one thing I like about this scene is that not only have we the players already definitely figured out what's going on, most of the party pretty much has too. Like, they fucking knew. So when the big twist comes that Lord Jiskel, or that Seymour killed Lord Jiskel, they're all just like, yeah, okay.
Wow.
Like,
what a shock.
So we do have to kill him.
But I do think that it's like, they didn't want to get involved. You know, they were playing the whole, like, it's not our business, we don't want to get involved game. But now that they've seen this rock hard proof of a serious problem, they're like, okay, yeah, no, we will kill anyone at any time. Whereas Waka is just like, no, fuck, oh, fuck, no, this sucks, ah, shit, this sucks, ah. But everyone else is just like, fuck it, you know? Yeah. Yuna is already in the Chamber of the Faith. So Seymour's outside, and he's like, hey, Yuna's in there. Then she comes out, and she reveals that she did in fact come here to stop Seymour. So that was her motivation all along. She wanted to use the wedding thing as leverage. She wanted to say, well, she'll explain more later, but she's like, yeah, I came here to stop you. He fesses up. He's like, yeah, I killed him. What of it? And then you fight the final boss.
Of the whole game. This is it. The whole game? Game's over.
Yeah, this is it. Game's over after this.
You kill Sephiroth, so the game's over, right?
Yeah. Seymour has 2 mooks who protect him. Did y'all notice that each character can talk to Seymour on their turn?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they get bonuses. Well, at least Yuna and Titus could, but I think I had Riku as my third, or I can't remember who it was, but they weren't able to talk to him.
Yeah, my third person was able to talk, I think.
I don't know if I tried Riku, but no, I definitely know that a lot of them can. Like, Waka can. Waka is just like...
I figure Waka and Orin probably can. Maybe Lulu and Riku and Kamari
so they can all exchange a few words on their turn, and then if you do that, it gives them like a badass like stat boost. It's cool. Yeah. The battle's not too hard at first, and then he summons Anima. Did any of y'all have trouble with Anima?
So I had more trouble with the mooks because I hit for about 1,000 damage, and they heal for 1,000 damage every turn.
Riku can steal their potions.
I figured it was a like
I know they don't have them.
Yep. Riku steals their potions, and then they can't heal.
That's great. Awesome. But because on one hand, Final Fantasy does stuff like that with like their systems are so well thought out, and then they don't like use it in the story. It's just things that are there, like, oh, this is a zombie boss. You throw Phoenix down and you automatically win because that's the system. But they typically don't like lean into those, and so like they trick you into forgetting a lot. But also in most Final Fantasy games, they don't have MP. Like that's a Final Fantasy like 4 type thing. And so it's like, oh, they would just have auto potion every turn. It's not like they have 10 potions.
Yeah, yeah. Most games, it's like enemies have infinite NP and infinite items. If you steal the items, it's really just saying the variable of your own inventory just adds 2, and that's all that happens.
Actually, you don't have to steal more than once either. She steals once, gets a potion, and then they can't heal anymore.
That's cool as shit.
That's so cool.
It was awesome.
You're smart.
I'm not smart. I'm using a guide.
Yeah.
The guy told me to do it, so
You're
I did
smart to use the guide. Admitting that you need help is a wise thing to do, and I never do it.
Yeah. Just real quick, like lately I've had this revelation, and it's all because of Tim Rogers, because of course, why would it be from anybody else? But Tim Rogers said that the game doesn't lose if the player wins. Yep. And I've extrapolated that to also be the player doesn't lose if the game wins. And so I'm currently playing Baba Is You. Baba Is You is great. Baba Is You doesn't do what Ego Raptor calls conveyance very well at all. And so it's like it escalates instead of like in a Mario game, it'll be like, oh, look at these pits. You can jump over these pits. And then it's like, okay, well, now there's enemies on the pits. You know how to deal with enemies and pits. Now you can get across it. This one is like, okay, here's pits. Okay, now here's a giant spinning saw blade. And now here's something else. And it comes on like too strong, and I don't like have anything mastered before I have to face a new thing. So most of the time when I've gotten stumped and I've looked up the solution, it's been like, I didn't even know you could freaking do that. And so I have been like, I'm not going to judge myself for looking up solutions to Baba Is You, because like the game is, just because the game's winning doesn't mean I'm a loser. And like, because of that, like, I'm like, I should just have a guide up all the time, like I do with Persona, because I don't want to tell anybody that I think the shoes are ugly and mess up my social life. But yeah, so everyone should use guides and not be mad about using guides.
I mean, the way I see it, a game is about
a game is about having fun.
The beauty of a single player game to me is about the exploration of a system, and the system is there whether you're figuring it out yourself or using a guide. Like exploring the beauty of it. It's like being at a really well designed system is like a really beautiful piece of art. Like you look at this part, you look at this part, and maybe you have a guide telling you, hey, check out this part, and you're like, oh, I wouldn't have thought about that part. That's very interesting. Yeah, it's totally legit thing to do. I don't do it because I'm stupid, but it's totally legit thing to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, you kill Seymour. He's definitely dead.
Yeah.
Like, they're not like, he doesn't do like, I'll get away from you. Team Rocket's blasting off again. He fucking dies.
Yep.
So you told me this when I was playing in the spoiler chat, and then I like fell asleep while playing, and I had a dream that the next part, like you were going and like crashing the wedding, and I'm like, wait, did Maddie lie to me? And then I woke up and thought I was silly.
That's weird.
Yeah,
very,
it's so
very
weird.
You have weird dreams, Sam.
My dreams. So lately, reading has put me to sleep like so bad, and all of my favorite games require reading a fucking novel because they're JRPGs.
Reading definitely puts me to sleep. I get that.
And so lately, I've just been like cozy and playing, and then I'm out like a couple cutscenes in.
Mm-hmm. So we all thought Seymour was gonna be the final boss, but apparently we just killed him. So Trommel shows up. And it's like, okay, wow, rude. Goku's like, but he's the final boss. He's bad. And Trommel and co. Take Seymour's body away. And then the party freaks out for a bit because they murdered the president. Now you gotta do. They've probably sparked an international incident.
Probably.
They also may or may not have done a hate crime.
Yeah.
So now you gotta do the cloister. Yeah, you thought you were getting away from the cloister. You didn't get away from doing the cloister. You still gotta do it.
So what I love is you run out the door that you came through, which means canonically you're doing literally the puzzles twice. Or they were solved for you when you went.
I legitimately think that it's like I said before, where it actually is some kind of like Star Trek holodeck thing. Like, so like it's just. They didn't trigger, like you just run through it without it happening on the way out, but then on the way out it's like, oh, apparently it's time to do the puzzles now. I don't know.
Well, when I was playing, I got through the cloister trials and then went, oh wait, I want to go back for something, or I wanted to go back to save. So I went out to save, came back in, and the whole thing had reset.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe it is a holodeck.
Yeah.
Or maybe we're trying to do the Final Fantasy X and make the thing make sense when really it's a gameplay construct and we should just live with it.
See, that's
a gaming
my take
abstraction.
usually is like, let's...
Oh yeah, I mean, who cares, really? But it's fun to think about it. No, I think they legitimately have a bunch of workers who, anytime someone leaves, they run in real fast and reset everything. They rebuild the walls. And they're unionized, and they're paid very well.
Wait,
it's a good.
You know what it is? Since Machina is illegal, it's those stage plays that have a black curtain and everybody in black bodysuits, so that the workers can hide and they can move stuff. That's what the cloister is like the whole time. There's just people with black bodysuits in the corner, like holding up the piece of ice.
Exactly. So anyway, yeah, you go through the cloister. It's a long one. I actually like this one. It's long and kind of annoying, but at least all the mechanics actually make sense instead of you just clicking around and being like, duh. You actually get to use your brain and solve it.
Yeah, this was the first one that I got the bonus item.
Nice.
When I realized what I had to do to get the bonus item, I wish that I could not get it, but getting the bonus item destroys your bridge and you have to do the whole thing twice to get through it.
Yep.
So if you don't care about the bonus items, don't step on the glowy thing. Just don't do it. Just walk out. The glowy thing ruins your life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, you get out of the cloister, and Trommel is there, and he's like, y'all killed the fucking president. Y'all did a hate crime. And they're like, but he was bad. We're gonna go to Bavel and tell Lord Mika about what's going on. And we'll show him the Jiskel Sphere. And Trommel's like, you mean this Jiskel Sphere that you just left laying around? And they're like,
what you do with evidence of treason?
And they're like, he's like, I'm gonna shatter it. So he shatters it. And then they're like, Arn's like, okay, we gotta run. So you run the fuck away. You backtrack all the way back to where we fought that boss earlier. On the way there's a lot of scripted battles. They do that thing where an actual enemy on the field runs to try and catch up with you, and as soon as he catches up with you, you have a battle. I always like that. I think it's cute. But then later, you actually have just regular random battles as well. Eventually, you fight another boss, which is a Yeti thing. It's just I guess it's like maybe one of the few examples in this game of just like we needed a boss here kind of thing.
Yeah.
The boss itself is basically just, I hope you made sure that Yuna got Isuna, because you're going to get one shot if you don't.
Yeah. This battle also taught me, pro tip for y'all in case y'all aren't trying this, Auron's move, Threaten. It's fucking great. On one hand, it wastes Auron's turn, so Auron can't do anything if he's doing this. But if Auron threatens the enemy, they just lose their turn. And it works on this boss, and he never got to have a turn.
Nice.
It's a really great move. I tried other tactics as well, so that he didn't actually not have a turn, but a lot of the time he didn't have a turn. It's a cool ass move, so try using that even on bosses, apparently. So the Yeti gets all mad, and he smashes the ice, and you fall down below. You fall down into the, like, underneath the frozen lake or something, where it's all like, it looks like there's dry ice everywhere. Here, the characters talk a lot about their feelings and the situation. Some nice feelings talk here. I didn't write down most of it because I thought, we can just go over it. It's fine. It's what you'd expect. Waka is like, fuck, I am probably going to go to hell now because I just killed a fucking priest.
So what I loved is I didn't use Waka at all in the Seymour fight. And he's like, oh my god, what have I done? I was like, you sat around and did nothing because you weren't useful in this fight.
He was an accessory to murder. That'd be funny, yeah. Like
he was like a cute handbag.
He's like, I didn't have to do anything. Or what if Yunus like, Waka, you stay there. I don't want you to go to hell.
Right.
It's okay if we go to hell, but I don't want you to go to hell. So just like stay over there and don't fight.
Yeah.
Put you on the bench. Yuna explains her thinking here. She wanted to convince Seymour to turn himself in return for marriage. I guess she correctly, I think, saw that he was outrageously horny and thought maybe his horniness would override his evilness. She misjudged. His horniness did not override his evilness. Apparently he didn't say anything to her, though, and at this point she's wondering if it was even worth it. She says that she regrets not telling the rest of the party. She's sorry. None of what she did was worth anything. It was all a big fuck up. Auron's like, it doesn't matter. We can still go on the pilgrimage. Yuna's like, but why would they let us go on a religious pilgrimage when I just killed a fucking pope? And Auron's like, well, it's the faith who give us summoner power, not the church. This has not been addressed, by the way. Every time they say faith in this game, they're saying capital F-A-Y-T-H. Faith they're basically like ancestor statues. They're former summoners. And they're sort of where Aeons come from, but they haven't really hashed it out yet for the player. They just sort of dropped here and there what it is.
There were some NPCs all the way back in Besaid that said what it was. So
yeah. Anyway, it'll become more clear. It definitely ends up being a thing later.
Yeah.
So yeah, it turns out the church doesn't give a summoner power. You get it directly from the faith. So as long as the faith continue to give Yuna the summons, they can continue the pilgrimage. But Yunus,
as long as you go to the faith, you can move mountains.
Exactly. Or at least go through Mount Gagazet, and hopefully defeat the boss at the end. That's from the Bible. They do agree that they're like, we gotta go to Bivelle first. We gotta talk to Maester Miko. We're like literally like fugitives on the run. We should probably sort this out, and in order,
especially because everyone we ever know is also walking the same exact road with us, so we're going to run into people. It's kind of a big deal.
We don't want to leave the group. We're gonna have hella FOMO.
We got to see what the Chocobo cops are doing. Like,
Shalinda's real cute.
Yeah.
So Auron's like, all right. Then there's a weird little scene where you learn that Jecht used to sing the hymn song. There's this hymn song we keep hearing anytime we're in a temple or other places. It's a really beautiful song.
It's so good.
It's like the theme song of religion. Kind of like in America, it's Our God is an Awesome God.
Pretty much.
Y'all know that one, right?
Yeah.
It's a fucking classic. It's bad.
Yeah, it is.
My favorite videos online is like, this is the difference between a Baptist church and it has some white people saying, "Our God is an awesome God, He reigns." And it's like, in a black church, and it's Kirk Franklin's song, "He Reigns," which is like so fucking funky and so good. And it's like, that's perfect.
So anyway, apparently Jecht used to sing this song. Here's the thing: he sang this song when Tidus was a kid, before he got
taken to Spira
by Sin, which makes no fucking sense.
Nope.
I even know what some of the twists are at the end of the game, and I'm not actually sure how this makes sense. So hopefully we'll find out. And they make a big deal out of it. Tidus is like, I know that song from the before times, and it's like, wait,
from the long ago.
Is this also a Do Good at Blitzball song?
Is it also? Yeah. Is this also the theme song in Blitzball? Because it's a little low energy, in my opinion.
Right?
Yeah.
Blitzball.
But I mean, the theme song for Halo is similarly low energy, and Halo is legit. So
that's true. Maybe it starts off with them singing the hymn, and then fucking Steve Vai shows up. And starts because it's composed by which I just forget the composer for Halo. What's wrong with me?
Marty O'Donnell.
That's right. Good old Marty, sweet Marty O'Donnell. He's great.
Yeah, love him.
Anyway, Sin shows up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get exactly how this works. It shows a shot of him in the water, so I'm thinking maybe like this lake has like an underwater passageway that leads to the sea or something. They don't explain it. It's just like, Sin's here now, and then everything goes white. Lulu's like, oh no, the toxin. The graphics get hella Final Fantasy VIII, which is to say it gets really impressionistic and lynchy. And they all pass out.
Yeah, my computer is doing a thing that I had fixed, and I don't know, and it's doing it again, and I don't know what it is, but when it cuts into a non-in-game cinematic, it just is a green screen, and so a lot of these important things I have to go and look up what happens later, and I forgot to look up this one, but now that you said it's all trippy, I probably should. Because the audio still works, and so they're like, "It's Sin, the toxin." I'm like, got it. That's all I really need to know.
That's so interesting. Yeah.
It's something with the video codec that they do, and NVIDIA don't like each other, so you have to like manually update that codec for NVIDIA or something. But I thought I had already done it because it had been working for a while.
Weird. But. Yeah, it has this shot though. Speaking of getting impressionistic, like right before it all turns white and they all faint or whatever. It has this shot where it does like a bunch of reaction shots of each character.
Oh, like super duper fast?
Like,
is that this one?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it does them like you're fucking like doing like a rack focus or something forward and back. It's like like all the different faces. It's a really cool shot.
Yeah.
Anyway, you show up in the desert, which is way too big, but it does have real nice music.
Yeah.
Tidus is alone. He's like, why am I in a desert? we got to gather up the party again. Where's Yuna though? So you get Arin, you get Waka, you get Lulu, blah 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 blah. Eventually we get Riku, and she knows where we are. We're on Bikanel Island, which is the secret home of the Al Bhed. Please don't tell anybody.
Waka.
She's like Yuna is definitely at home. Home is the name of their city. She's like, surely Yuna is at home. I'll take us there, but only if you promise.
Did they get their home name from Asgore? Because yeah,
probably.
Sorry.
No, yeah, I was like, who's Asgore? Oh, right, Undertale.
Yeah, yes.
Wait, who's talking? Eli. Oh, yeah, Undertale.
Yeah. Whereas if it's me, it's like, it's either The Great Gatsby or Homestuck.
Yeah, you've got the Homestuck references, I've got the Undertale references.
Yeah,
We're
double
good.
team.
We got Toby Fox down.
Yeah.
Please notice this, Toby Senpai. Anyway, so Riku says, well, I'll take you to home, only if you promise to keep it a secret. And Waka gets real combative, and is like, blah, 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 huge bitch. And
speaking of Homestuck references,
he's like, whatever, he's like, y'all suck. Y'all hate Yevon, y'all hate Jesus, y'all hate freedom. That's why y'all do terrorisms. Riku's like, no, we don't like Yevon for legitimate reasons, because they drone bombed our country. No, it's because Yevon did something really bad to them in the past. She doesn't say what it is. At this point, Goku gets legit frustrated with Waka's shit. Like, at this point, anytime Waka's being racist, Goku's just like, shut the fuck up, let's go do the goddamn dungeon. Mm-hmm. And it works. It's great. He's a good boy.
Yes.
So, you go through a really long dungeon that's just a big open field. I guess if you made a beeline in the direction that the big blinking arrow tells you to go, it's probably pretty short, but I didn't do that.
Yeah, I went through it, like, just directly. Like, I could tell there was a lot of stuff that I was missing around me, but I did not care enough. It's like, as cool as the systems are, when we talk about the systems, we specifically are talking about the sphere grid. The sphere grid is great. Everything else is kind of, like, not important, and so, like, treasure chests don't entice me to do anything anymore. Like,
yeah, it's like you get elixirs that I'm never going to use. I'm just going to save them up until I can use it to add, like, Cure 3 to my Aeons or some shit like that. But like I said, I'm dumb. And I did it. Fun fact y'all don't know about me: this entire game, I've been trying to have Riku steal. Well, ever since I got Riku, like every single fucking battle. And you learn that certain enemies always give you the same items usually. And certain enemies give you high potions. So at first I was thinking, I'm going to avoid the enemies that give you high potions, because that's not a valuable item. Then I realized I needed 99 high potions to teach an Aeon Cure. And I was like, well, better start stealing those high potions. Because for a while, the shops don't sell them. Yeah. Now they do. But by the time I got to the first shop that sold them, I already had 99. So, yeah,
which, speaking of steal, this is the first time in the history of Final Fantasy that I've enjoyed the steal mechanic. Like, ever.
Well, it's a lot easier to do because you can swap her in. You don't have to, like, keep your shitty thief character in your party just for stealing reasons. Yeah, and they have repeatable steal, so you can keep stealing from them. And also, the steal chance is like 99% and not 1 over 256, like all of the other ones. Like the other ones, it's like put everybody on guard and put Zidane on steal and mash X for like 3 hours to hope you get the good item. It's just like, no, you pop her in and you just take whatever you get. Like, you don't have to worry, did I get the good drop? You're just like, cool, I got some high potions, and then just like also in this game,
battle.
You only characters who took a turn in the battle get experience points. So you want to swap her in for 1 turn anyway.
Yeah.
So she'll get XP. So you swap her in, have her steal from whichever enemy is the best one, and then continue on into the way. Yeah, I'm using it a ton, and I'm accumulating those items, those rare pepes.
Especially because, like, her use is also way better than Shadow's in Final Fantasy VI, and, like, I want to use her item. She's like, here right now when we don't have Yuna, she was my healer because you could use an Albed potion instead of just being a regular potion. You could use it on the whole party with Riku, and then she had all of the items from random mobs that you could use to be spells and stuff, and it was just like really, really useful character. Like, hands down the best thief in Final Fantasy. I'm not even ashamed to say it. And like Final Fantasy 9 stars a thief, and sorry, Zidane sucks. Like, Riku blows him out of the water. It's legit.
Yeah, I agree with you. She's the best thief. She's great.
Yeah.
I mean, Locke's a great character, but he's not fun to use at all.
Yeah. I like Locke as a character, but he's like never in my party.
Just now when you said Locke was a thief, I was like, no, he was a spellcaster, because in Final Fantasy 6, if you like characters, you just make them into spellcasters.
Yeah. On one hand, I'm excited to get Mug, because Mug it's steal and attack at the same time. On the other hand, I'm like, wait, Riku does shit damage. Why does it matter?
Yeah.
But if she's not using her use or something else, she really sucks. But because her use is so good and well-rounded, it's legit.
I don't ever use them because I'm hoarding them. But I pumped her up with some useful spells. She has Curaga now.
Nice.
She got Curaga before Yuna did. She has Curaga and Kimari has Cura. So I use whichever one is more necessary in the moment.
Yeah. So the more you tell me about this expert sphere grid, I'm like, why did people like enjoy this game in 2001? This sounds like a silly place.
I actually low key. Well, no, the original game didn't have the expert sphere grid. They added that later.
No, I thought the big thing was that the International Edition simplified the sphere grid because it was too legit.
No. The International Edition added the expert grid.
Oh.
Yeah, y'all are playing the original.
I'd heard that completely backwards, but
y'all are playing the original. They add International Edition. Were like, what if we added this stupid thing? Also, I honestly, real quick here, I love the expert grid. It is adding to my enjoyment of the game immensely. However, I think it is very much designed for people who have already played the game.
Yeah.
Like, I've already played the regular game. I already know what these character builds are quote unquote supposed to be. So therefore, I can fuck around with the expert grid. It's not just that if y'all were doing it, y'all would fuck up. It's not even that. It's more that you wouldn't necessarily be able to enjoy it. You might be too scared to experiment. You wouldn't know how to experiment. You wouldn't know what some of the different abilities are. So it's I like that it's good, but I also, and it's like too bad it's not actually a replacement for the original. Because I don't think it would be a good thing to do if you haven't played the game already.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tight though. So anyway, you go through.
Okay. So the difference was, not to cut you off.
Oh, what's up?
I was trying to skip it. So I looked on the Final Fantasy wiki. The standard grid is a simplified version of the original grid, but it's like from where do those numbers go? The original was 828 nodes. The standard has 860 nodes and it's rearranged a bit. So it makes it, because like I had heard that the standard grid put people more in their traditional class roles, and the expert grid doesn't do that. And they said that the standard grid added that from the original grid, but it was just like a shuffling and not necessarily a complete
so they
change.
redesigned the original grid to be better, but not any huge changes, and then also made the expert grid.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So y'all are playing not a different concept from the original, but just a better version of the original concept. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Cool.
That's interesting.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's cool that they took the time to like, this could have been done a little better, you know?
Yeah. It's like, it's crazy tuned on the standard grid. Like, I don't even like notice the fact that I'm not leveling up anymore, because like I thought that would be such a weird thing to not have levels in a Final Fantasy game, but it's like I'm like on par or better than the monsters around me, like constantly, and it's fine, and it's like perfectly tuned. Like right when I'm just like, man, like Cure does like 800, and I'm starting to get characters with like 2000 where like a Cure isn't doing it. Boom, I got Cura, and it's just like. It's like hella paced, which is insane for something to be so non-linear, but still like perfectly in tune with what's going on. And
that's how I feel about the expert grid. The expert grid, honestly, it's brilliantly put together. Like, where they put some of the crossovers, like where they put the intersections between like Yuna's and Lulu's, or whatever. Like how do they design this whole thing with all these different characters, all these intersections, and like it must have taken a lot of work to get it all flowing proproperly. It's brilliant, but it can't be fully appreciated unless you've already played the game. So yeah,
maybe that's the reason why it took so long to get the HD is because they started in 2001 and then they took until 2014 to come out on the PS3. It took 13 years to get this right.
We can't figure out if we're going to put the strength up node here or one node away here. We're not sure.
All right, we'll push it back another 6 months.
Anyway, so you finally crest the final hill, and it's home. It's in the middle of a huge battle. It's clearly a matte painting.
Yeah.
This area, maybe they had to do it later in the budget or something. It has a lot of pre-rendered backgrounds. They all look great. If no one had told me that this game used pre-rendered backgrounds, I may not have even noticed. Here's how you know. When you're just in an area, you might be going through so quick you don't notice. But you'll notice if a cutscene happens and there's no camera angles.
Yeah.
That's how you know. Oh, they couldn't do camera angles here. So it's just the characters moving around and talking with voice acting as if it was a PS1 game. Right? Yeah. That's how you know. Anyway.
You also can tell, like, foreground objects, you can kind of see the pixels there a little bit. That's how I tell.
Yeah, I mean, once you notice it's happening, you can tell on every screen. But, like, there's a few big giveaways.
Yeah.
Also, things move in a more jittery manner because they're not actually moving. Anyway, so it turns out that the Yevon sent like a Guido hit squad to attack the Albed with lots of fiends.
Question: how the hell did they know where this was? And how the hell did they mobilize these troops across half the world? And since the time it took you to get magically transported there by Sin, how the hell did any of this happen and make sense?
To the second question, I think that it is implied because I've played a little bit ahead, so for various reasons, I think it's implied that perhaps some time has passed.
Okay.
I'm not talking like a month, but I'm saying like maybe a couple days or something. Like you could have been, Sin magically transporting you. You could have been out for a few days, or like inside of Sin for a while. You know what I mean? Yeah. Something like that. After how do they know? I don't know.
Later, it was just the point of the thing. It's like we stay here because we're safe from the grotto, and they don't know where we are. And then you crest the hill. It's like, well, shit.
Later, you do find out that there are ways to magically track people. So maybe that's it. But. I don't know if they ever explain it, but there is a very obvious explanation that happens a little bit later that could potentially, if you use your imagination, be the reason.
Okay.
But yeah, it is kind of goofy. So anyway, they're attacking the Albed. They're trying to fuck them up. There's this dude named Keikaku shows up, and he tells you some lore. So you learn the lore all according to Keikaku.
Keikaku means plan.
A dude shows up to help, and his name is Sid.
Yay, Sid.
So he's just this like cranky redneck grandpa. Even though the Albed are supposed to be more like inspired by like people from the Middle East, he's also a cranky redneck. I don't know. Yeah. It's a land of contrasts.
I was about to say that he's my least favorite Sid, and I remember what the one in Final Fantasy VI wears. So never mind.
A literal like condom on his head.
Yeah. Like never mind.
Final Fantasy VI is good, but not everything is good.
Yeah, not everything is good in that game.
Hot take. The best Sid is, I know this is a normie opinion, but man, the Sid in FF7, he's great.
Sid in FF7 is great. Both Sid and Cindy in 15 That's are true. Spectacular.
12 also has two Sids, and they're both fucking great. Yeah. There's Sid and El Cid. It's Sid with a... Never mind, I'm not going to make any stereotypes there.
I was about to make similar stereotypes. Wow. Heated gaming moments, guys.
Heated gaming moments. So anyway... You go through a small dungeon. There's some scripted battles and some random battles. Sid tells Riku over the intercom that they're going to blow the fuck up out of home with all the fiends. They've got to get to shelter. They got to get underground to the bomb shelter.
Not to the bomb shelter. To the summoner shelter.
Well, yeah, he doesn't say that either. He just says, get underground and blowing the place up. Right.
Oh,
I was using bomb shelter as metaphorical to not die, right?
Oh, I was just lumping, like, they happened so fast I didn't even realize there was, like, a separation there.
Oh, yeah, I think maybe it's separate. Anyway, so Riku shares that the Albed used to live together a long time ago on an island, but then Sin destroyed the entire island, and they got diasporaed all over Spira. Riku's dad, Sid, is the leader, and he brought all the disparate people together to create a new home out of Machina. They used Machina to build this place, but at this point, it's done for. She's like, shit, this is the end. We gotta blow it all up.
So the design of home made me think that this was going to be fucking Balam Garden and that be the airship here in a second, because it kind of feels like they're like, oh, abandoned ship and it's made out of Machina and all of these things. That there should be like, nope, we have liftoff and just take the whole town, but that's not what happens.
That would have been tight.
Yeah.
And also it's in the desert, so it could have burrowed. It could have been like an FF6 reference.
Yeah.
But
no, it just gets blown the fuck up.
Yup.
Yeah. So, here's what we've all been waiting for. The other shoe dropped. There's been a number of shoes that have dropped in this game, but this is another shoe that's going to drop. Y'all guessed it a few weeks ago, but then I think y'all kind of... Oh, I don't know if y'all forgot, but y'all didn't mention anything about this concept last week, which is interesting. You find out the truth, which is that Yuna's going to die.
Yeah.
So Riku, there's this great scene where Riku says, Yuna is in the Summoner's Sanctum, where we keep the Summoners, ... like, because we've been kidnapping the Summoners. And Waka is like, look, I get why you kidnap the Summoners, but you can't do it. Like, it's wrong. And Goku's like, wait, I don't get it.
I don't get it?
Yeah. Explain it to me, please.
You want to keep the Summoners safe. But that's what Guardians are for. Why don't you just trust the Guardians to keep the Summoner safe? And then, in my opinion, there's an incredible scene. The main piano theme song of the game starts playing, and everything goes. It's one of those things where like the music is overpowering all the sound effects and stuff.
Yeah.
And everyone just kind of looks at him, and he looks back, and they look at him, and he looks back, and at this point, it's like he understands.
Yeah.
He has figured out the secret. And no one even answers his question. They all just turn and walk down the stairs. Because, they can't face it. They can't say it. He fucking knows, but they're not going to say it, and he's not going to say it. He has finally put all the pieces together. So, the sad music plays.
And so, like, not to be a sad stuck here for a second, but, like, this scene, it's so good because it happened to me. So the day that we lost Sebastian, we're going in for just a normal checkup, and they couldn't find the heartbeat. And so I then was Titus in this moment where I got it. I knew what was happening. I knew the horror that I had to face, but I still, until the doctor came in with the ultrasound to verify everything, I still was I'm not going to admit that this is real and have my reaction yet, because there's hope, and I'm going to live in this hope, and Goku lives in this hope for another 2 scenes, and then the hope is gone, and he feels, and it's good.
Yeah.
This game is good.
Yeah, and it's so interesting that the sad music isn't playing 2 scenes later when he realizes, when they actually tell him, it plays here, because at this point, like you said, he fucking knows, and he's just gonna deny it for 10 more minutes, hold on to that.
Just let him have 10 more minutes of hope.
Yeah.
It's good.
So, you get to the Sanctum. Yuna's not there. Donna and Isaru are there. Apparently they're kidnapped at some point. Turns out there's also
knew
lots
that Isaru was, we knew that Donna was kidnapped in Macalania. What's his face comes to mind. Have you seen her?
That's right.
No. Isaru, I feel there was something similar back when we first heard about it, but I don't
probably. So anyway, there's also lots of dead Albed. A lot of Albed died protecting them.
Now they're all dead.
Yes.
I'm here for the jokes. That's why they keep me. So clever.
So here's where they really reveal the twist. Riku reveals that the pilgrimage requires the summoner to die. The summoner obtains the final Aeon, and the final Aeon kills Sin as well as the summoner. Goku says the obvious thing, which is, am I the only one who didn't know this? And
yeah.
Usually
Pretty
upset.
much.
Lulu says they weren't really hiding it on purpose. It was just too hard to say. It's just like, yeah, no one talks about this because it's fucking horrifying.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
It's
not
bummer.
It's not fun.
Which makes the like friendly rivalry that her and Isaru had. It was like, oh, it'll be a race to see who can beat Sin first. It's really just kind of like gallows humor, and it's good.
Exactly. No one's going to talk about. Well, what's interesting is that
who's going to be the dead first?
What's cool is that, like, on one hand, it's different from, like, you know, like a Mayan sacrifice or something, or like cultures that do like child sacrifices, because like it is voluntary. You volunteer to do it. But on the other hand, like, it's still the same shit. And and what's cool is that when he says, like, Lulu and Waka, I thought y'all were family. How could you let her do this? I thought they were going to say something like, you know, this is our culture. It's her choice. She's sacrificing. It's an honor to sacrifice her for great good. They're like, no, when she first told us she was going to do it, we tried to talk her out of it.
Yeah.
We tried to get her to stop. It almost reminded me of, like, the Hunger Games, right? Like, volunteering as tribute. You can do that, but no one's going to fucking do that. You know what I mean? But someone's got to. So she's like, no, she's too headstrong. She wouldn't listen to us. She volunteered to go suicidally sacrifice herself. And after we realized that we couldn't stop her from doing it, we're now her guardians. And we're just going to just do it.
Keep her alive as long as we can.
Yeah, we're just going to put the blinders on and do it and not talk about how horrifying it is, because that's behind us. Like, we've already made the decision, you know?
Yeah.
Goku freaks out for a little while. Valifor shows up. I guess Donna summoned him, and he like punches Valifor's chest, like it's Valifor's fault, which is cool.
Valifor's already there. I think there was a fight or something that we skipped over, and they summoned him to
showed up, and they summoned.
Yeah, Wendigo showed up. Yeah,
but that's not actually a boss fight. It's just in the cutscene.
Yeah, it's just in the cutscene. But
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying one of them summoned Valifor. So he's like punching Valifor, which I think is cool, because that was Yuna's first summon. So he's thinking, like, this is your fault. He remembers
and what's really cool is Valifor is just like, yeah, I know, and like kind of still does the like hug animation that it does when Yunus summons it. Kind of just like hugging Tidus, and it's like, I know, man, I know.
Yep.
It's good.
He remembers the laughing scene, and he also remembers all the times he told Yuna, after we defeat Sin, we're gonna do this and this and that, and then everyone was just awkwardly quiet. He remembers all those times and feels like a big idiot. And that's it. You just have a bunch of feelings. It sucks, but there's nothing to do with those feelings. So you just go to the next area, and it's an airship.
Yay!
You go on a dock, and there's an airship. Turns out that was the thing that we excavated way back at the beginning of the game. So we go into it, and Goku's still extremely upset. He grabs Sid and is all like, where's Yuna? Where's Yuna? And first of all, they're like, we don't know where Yuna is. But we could find out using technology. And Sid doesn't want to help, though. He's like, what? If you find Yuna, then what are you going to do? Are you just going to make her complete her pilgrimage? And then Sid literally pile drives Goku.
It's so good.
Yeah, just like it's no big deal, frankly. He's just like, yoop, and you're going over my head. And then Goku says that he's committed to not letting Yuna die. It's interesting. He doesn't say we're not going to do the pilgrimage. He's just like, I promise she's not going to die. And I'm like, you can't make that promise. You have no idea if that's possible. Like, you know what I mean? Like you don't have the information to know that you can keep that promise. But he's like, no, I'm a golden retriever. I'm very headstrong. I'm very stubborn. I am committing to not letting Yuna die. And something about Sid he can just tell. So he's like, okay, I believe you. You better fucking keep your word or you'll regret it. I'll kill the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
The airship takes off. It's cool as shit. It's an incredibly designed piece of technology. It's all blue and silver and yellow and looks very much like something out of Final Fantasy VIII because they have a lot of similar art designers. Then all the Albeds mournfully sing the Hymn of the Faith, which is interesting. It's almost like they do still have some connection to their faith. Mm-hmm. And then they bomb the shit out of home. No one knows where Yuna is, but they're going to find out, and everyone is sad, and the absolute most Masashi Hamauzu music I have ever heard plays. It's an outrageously good piece of music. Y'all should listen to the remaster and the original. They're very different. And the original is like top tier video game Hamauzu. The remaster actually sounds way more like the chamber music Hamauzu's been writing the last like 5 years, as a composer, not his video game shit. It's great. I love him so much. He's my dad. I know I said earlier that someone else was my dad, but actually Masashi Hamauzu is my dad. Actually, no, he's my husband. Never mind. I changed my mind. So yeah, we're about to find out where Yuna is and go and rescue the hell out of her. Also, I will say, about 2 scenes later, or like 1 or 2 seconds later after this, they do officially reveal that that Yuna is Riku's cousin.
Okay.
And is
if you couldn't. Huh? If you couldn't put it together because we already know my uncle Sid and Sid is my dad.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy to put it together now, but they will.
Well, and I also, I mean, Riku came out and said it during when she was riding with Tidus.
Yeah. When they finally say it, it's like really low key. I think it's literally an optional NPC scene. Like, it's voiced. Like, it's one of those scenes where you can have some optional voiced scenes. I think it's literally Waka. Waka's like, hey, I was just talking to Sid and he called Yuna his niece. That's weird. I guess that means that she's part Albed. Huh. I'm not as racist as I used to be, so I'm handling this pretty well. Yeah, and let me see, did I miss anything else? No. Yeah, so you save here in the airship. You're about to go find Yuna. And that's it. And that's it for the week. So what are y'all's memorable moments?
So I had one earlier, and I forgot to write it down because I know that your computer freaks out if I write things down while you're looking at it. But, I don't remember. Eli, if you have any, you can go first.
I honestly, like, a lot of this was pretty low-key, this week.
It was a lot of, like, I don't have that many memorable moments because all of the good shit was the plot shit.
Yeah.
It was plot shit and desert.
Yeah. So I'll take my soapbox time to talk about the cloister, because this cloister was really, really cool. So it was a sliding block puzzle, but not like the ice cavern in Ocarina of Time level, like not like a legit hard one, but like you just had to slide it correctly and put things to block it. But then it was also a problem with recursion, and so you had to like keep like a cycle, like a Tower of Hanoi type thing. Like you had to manage your thing as you go through it, and it was like, oh, you have to keep the orb in this socket to make sure that your thing is here, otherwise you'll fall to your death. And then you have to make sure that one's here so that you can do this, which means that this last one has to go here. So now that I've moved that one, I have to go and do it in reverse to get all of the pieces in the right spot. And it was really, really cool.
Yeah, you need to use the orbs in order to get other orbs. So it's like, I know I need to put this orb in the slot, but I can't put this orb in the slot yet because if I don't have this orb over here, I can't activate the thingy. Yeah. It was pretty interesting. I liked it. I saw a lot of people whining about it, but like I was saying earlier, you get to use your brain to solve it instead of just wondering what the hell everything does.
Yeah, it was really cool. My other one would be just it's a memorable moment for this week, but it also is a something that is true for every Final Fantasy game, that they somehow make Shiva beautiful and not just anime hot. They make it like, no, this is literally a goddess. They somehow tricked a goddess into starring in their video game somehow, and it's like bizarre. And it's been that way in like every single one.
Yeah,
every single game.
I was saying when I was playing it, because the guide I was using was like Yuna's gonna summon her, or use Yuna to summon her ? Thing, and I didn't read ahead and was like, oh my god, is it Shiva? And then I read ahead and I was like, it's Shiva! I was so excited because I have always loved Shiva in the Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, she's cool as hell. Cool. She's a cool girl. She's a girl from Gone Girl voice. Cool girl.
Yeah. Another thing that I like this week is when you're on the lamb and you're running, it doesn't let you play blitzball. It's like they thought through, like, well, of course you can't just teleport over to the blitzball stadium while you killed the Pope. Like, it doesn't work that way. Nope. And so you don't get to play blitzball for the last like hour of this playthrough.
To be fair, if they wanted to be a realistic allegory of American sports, it could be you show up to play football and everyone's like, well, you have done some terrible crimes, but we're not going to prosecute you because you being a football player is more important.
Yeah.
The fact that you may or may not have done terrible things, we don't care about that.
No, this is an allegory about Japan, not Baylor University.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not American football. Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all that I have.
Not any more than what was already stated. I thought all the plot was good. I thought the reveal about Yuna sacrificing herself was good. And I mean, I had an idea that was the case when Riku mentioned sacrifice when we were on the snowmobile, and then she's like, oh, it just takes a lot out of you. I'm like, well, I feel like you're lying.
Yeah.
But, I'm not going to call you out on that, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and a few weeks ago, like, towards the beginning of the game, they were like, y'all were like, Broska went on the pilgrimage, but Broska's also not around.
Yeah.
You die on the pilgrimage? But then I think what happens is they do that thing that I love it when media does this. They drop hints, but they put enough time between the hints and the reveal that you might have forgotten the hints.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, it's like, oh, they dropped the hints in the first 5 hours of the game, and then 10 more hours of play happen, and you just forget about that you forgot that you had already figured it out.
Uh-huh.
And then when it comes back, you're like, oh, right.
Yeah.
Whereas if they had continued to drop hints, it would have been too obvious.
Yeah.
So I just got a couple. When you first get to the hotel in the ice level, you meet Owaka again, and at this point I realize I may have misguided y'all a little bit with the whole Owaka thing, because I was like, oh, you gotta donate to Owaka, he's got some hidden items. I actually didn't do that from memory. I actually went online to look up that, but I must have looked it up online wrong, because that's wrong. He gives you cheaper prices, and it does make sense mathematically, but what you're really paying for is a subplot. The subplot of this stupid merchant trying to do a shop. Like, if you recall, in the last town, he literally asks you if his prices are too high or too low. Mm-hmm. And if you say his prices are too low, he literally makes it all cost more, and then you have to have it cost more. But if you're like, dude, your prices are too high, he lowers it, and you're like, cool, I'm looking out for your best interests, not just wanting you to give me a cheaper price.
Yeah.
His prices are too high, though.
They are.
Oh, yeah, no, they are. Yeah, and it's just funny, because, like, he's, like, your buddy, but he's also selling shit to you, which is a metaphor for how in 2018, all of us millennials don't have normal human interactions because all of our human interactions are mediated by various capitalistic transactions, because all of us work 50 different jobs.
Yeah.
But anyway, you see Owaka here, and I'm like, oh, it's Owaka, my buddy, my husband, my wife, my best pal. And you talk to him, and for the first time in the game, he's selling high potions. And I'm like, yes! Someone who's selling high potions. I need like 20 of them because I need to max out a second time my 99 so that I can teach another one of my Aeon's Cure. So they're like 750 gil a pop. And I'm like, assuming that's going to be a great price because, again, I already gave him money. He told me he'd give me a discount. He told me he'd lower his prices. So I just don't even think about it. And I fucking buy like 30 of them. Then I go inside the hotel and Rin is selling them for $500 a pop.
Yeah.
Like, you motherfucker. And like, I'm not even mad. I'm like, that's hilarious. Like, that's like, this guy does not actually exist as a shop. This guy exists as a plot and not necessarily a person you need to actually buy things from.
Yeah. I've never bought from him because I missed the second time that you can donate to him because I didn't lose to the Choka Chupa Choppa Koopa. I didn't lose to that one, and he's down in that optional part of that dungeon. So I just breezed past him with the Chocobo. I ran down there
myself because I'm stupid.
I breezed past him with the Chocobo, so I didn't get the second opportunity to donate to him. And I don't know if I've missed the third and fourth one. I know that that's where the second one was, and I'm just like, well, dang it.
Yeah, I missed all the donation opportunities.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, y'all are just he actually does have a few good items, but not like amazing. Like, you need this for some reason. It's just like, oh, that weapon's got a ability that is very useful. You know, like medium useful at medium good prices.
I will say that oftentimes I'll go to talk to Ren, and Ren will be like, "Hey, do you want this sword with +3 strength?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, maybe." And I go to Waka, and his has +3 strength and water touch or something. Like,
exactly.
His usually have like more sub things to them, and that's why they cost more. But also, I could just buy the one +3 strength and then add the water touch to it if I wanted to.
Yeah, because you're stealing a million of those water things anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's one thing I like. Another thing that I like is I have a screenshot here. It's just a simple line. When you talk to the Chocobo Knight guy, and you tell him that maybe he should be a Chocobo breeder, he goes, "Wow, I think this is the first time I've seriously thought about my life." And I'm like, we've all been there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then finally, when Tidus is having his conversation with Lulu on the thingy, on the snowmobile, there's a really cool conversation where they talk about sin, and he's basically saying, like, he asks, he's like, can a human become sin? Has that ever happened? Is that like a thing? I'm just wondering, no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I haven't seen my dad lately, huh? And then Lulu's like, I haven't heard of that. And then T just basically says something like, y'all don't know anything about sin. Like, maybe there's some other way to kill it. Maybe y'all... He basically is saying, like, it's weird that y'all are just all taking this for granted and not really thinking about it. But Lulu's like, look... Sin is an unstoppable god monster. You either fight or you run. That's really all you can do. She's like, you don't have time to think about it. Which I think is real cool. In fact, a little while later, someone, I forget who, some NPC says something like, if we had... when does this happen, actually? I don't remember when this happens. Anyway, there's a lot of scenes in this that I skipped over where characters are just basically arguing about ethics. Like, is it ethical to allow people to voluntarily participate in a ritual sacrifice if it's their culture? That's the thing that happens a lot in America, or in our world. It's like, this country does what America considers to be human rights abuses. Is it human rights to stop them, or is it like cultural imperialism to make them abide by our morals? So Tidus and the other characters are kind of having that discussion. Tidus has his point of view, the Albed have their point of view, and of course the regular goody-good spirits have their point of view. And at one point, what am I trying to get at? So someone says, look, if we could all sit around and think of another way to defeat sin, that would be great. But by the time we figured it out, sin would have killed all of us.
Yeah.
Did y'all get that, or is that something that I played ahead?
I don't know. I got that vibe.
Yeah, I got the vibe.
That exact conversation happens in an NPC somewhere.
I know that Lulu, when you're asking, hey, has anybody ever become sin? And she's like, no, with sin, you run or you fight. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
So, like, the vibe was there. So even if it is a spoiler, it's not a big one.
Cool. But yeah, it's neat. So that's sort of everyone's mindset in this world, is they're just like, we don't have time. We guys have the thing from killing all of us. Even if the status quo sucks, trying to change the status quo would potentially make things worse. So we have to just accept the status quo. Walker even says at one point, Walker's like, everything's fine the way it is. And Ricky's like, no, it's not. Well, thanks, Hillary Clinton.
Make America continue to be great.
What's that?
I said, make America continue to be great.
Exactly, because there's no problems in America. Obviously.
America's greatness doesn't stop from keep happening.
Exactly. Anyway, that is all for the week. Next week, we're going to save Yuna. So where are we going to stop next week? So, there is a really big romantic scene, where the theme song, it's just like in Final Fantasy VIII, where the characters are being all sweet on a spaceship and then the
GDC couch sings along.
Yeah, it's the same thing, but GDQ. In this game. And also the song is great, so look forward to a really fucking good song. As soon as that song's over, there's like fucking 10 more minutes of cutscenes or something. And then there's a few parts where you have to walk, like you get to play, but there's not a save point. Point is, once you see that big romantic scene with the theme song of the game, then as soon as you get to a save point, save.
Okay,
gotcha.
And that'll be it. Shouldn't be too much play for the week. I think it's going to be around 2.5 hours, something like that. Okay. Most of it's cutscenes. I don't actually know how much of it's cutscenes. You got to do another. You're going to do another cloister.
Nice.
So,
okay.
Yeah. Love me some cloisters.
Yeah, love some cloisters. I've heard that this is the one everyone complains about. So those
use
of us,
a guide.
Use a guide. Even I might probably just use a guide. We'll find out. So anyway.
I will always use a guide.
Good. So that's it for this week. If you're liking what you're hearing and you want to chat with us, there's a few ways to do that. We got our Twitter at RBG Book Club, our email address, rbgbookclub@gmail.com. Have we gotten any emails besides the 2 that Matt sent us?
No.
Matt, send us more.
Yeah, send us more, Matt.
Or on our disc. Look, we're suckers for attention, okay? If you give us attention, we will call you out on the show.
Yeah, that's the only reason we talk about Matt and Essie is just because they talk to us. So if you want to get name dropped, just talk to us.
Just do it. Anyway, we also have a Discord, link in the description. If you want to help us pay for things and also vote for Dragon Quest or something else.
But Dragon Quest?
Yeah. Please consider donating on our Patreon, patreon.com/RPGBookClub. Sam, we're still on Patreon, right?
Yeah, the Ko-Fi is up, so if you also donate at the Ko-Fi, I will drop you count a vote when I do the final tally. Essie only has PayPal, so she donated on the Ko-Fi, and so she's getting a vote, and everything's cool. So if you want to do that, you can. That's ko-fi.com/RPGBookClub, but there's also a link in the thingy if you want to check it out. But right now, our focus is still the Patreon. The Ko-Fi is just a separate thing for now.
Cool, thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
Patrons get to vote on our next game and also get a video series, the JRPG Canon. Each episode you will get 2 weeks before anyone else gets it. Has the first episode, has it been 2 weeks? Has the first episode been released publicly
been
yet?
4 weeks, and I just remembered I didn't make it live on YouTube. It's been live on Patreon for the public because that's automatic.
So y'all actually got it a whole month in advance this time because Sam forgot.
Yeah, so I'm going to go do that literally right now.
Good job. So just as a reminder, once again, you have the big romantic theme song, and then you save at the next save point. So, for RPG Book Club, I have been Maddie Webben.
I've been Sam Allman.
And I've been Elias Sailor Eli Warren. Toodaloo!
Bye, folks.
Bye, folks.